Hello and welcome to the DC Stewart Show Podcast, along with my kinfolk Isaah and Najee. We got a little bit of a late start, but we're on now. We're happy to be here, and it is Thursday. We kicked it off on Monday, and we're kicking it down on Thursday. And you know what? It's a gorgeous day outside here in LA. I know there's some weather issues going on in Florida. We wish everyone well in Florida because they have thunderstorms from what I'm told, and we'll have Isaah and Najee explain to us a little bit about that. Kinfolk, we consider you family. We really do. And when you subscribe to us, you're joining our family. And we're so happy to have you aboard as a family member. And I'm going to call you kinfolk as well because I got my two main kinfolk here, but you're our kinfolk too. So fam, please continue to support us and give us that support we need because we can bring some really hot button topics and we can hit hard and go hard in the paint with some of these topics with current events, with some of the sports. We got a fun-filled weekend coming up, packed with a lot of stuff going on, especially the BIG3 Championship for basketball. And we're going to have Najee and Isaah break that down for us. So, once again, stick with us because we're here and we're streaming live on YouTube, and you know we're going to be spreading this goodness to Facebook and to Twitch as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my main one, kinfolk, and his name is Isaah. He's got all black on and he's looking pretty damn sharp today in a president's chair, CEO chair. So I can't do any better than that. So Isaah, tell us a little bit about your day and what's going on. And where are we going?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: it is nasty, funky, wet outside. It's thundering and lightning because we got a storm out there, massive Hurricane Aaron that's out there just tearing up the ocean. But people, take heed to the officials when they tell you to evacuate, hunker down, all of those necessary things they tell you to do to be safe because a storm, nothing to play with, man. It tears up things and people, if you want to keep your life healthy, stay out of the way of a passing storm. So buckle down and do whatever you need to do to get your house intact, whether it's getting your water, boarding up, hunkering down, getting the kids safe because the storm is nothing to play with, man, because I've seen it time and time again where people don't listen and then they get caught up in these things. So that's my whole thing. And another thing now, this is going to be a filled weekend for sports. And listen, I'm going to be out there and indulging in it. I'm first kicking off tomorrow over at the University of Miami with Mario Cristobal, who's leading the Kings to the 25-26 season. And then, of course, in Orlando on Sunday, the BIG3 Championship is going down. Guess who's going to be there? Me. I'm going to be out there. Najee's going to be hanging out there with me. We're going to be enjoying this stuff. And people, listen, if you see me out there, don't be afraid. Hey, listen, I'm not some of those guys, I'm pushing away the fans. Nah, come dap me up. You know, other than selfies and all that stuff, it's going down like that. So get prepared for it. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me bring a kinfolk near and dear to my heart in. It's by the name of Najee, and he's got bad boys on that shirt. Tell us a little bit about your day, Najee. How you doing and what's really going on?
Oh, just like what Isaiah said, man. Even though we don't have to prepare for the storm, but we still getting a lot of moisture up from the storm. Girl, that
Yep.
storm is huge. We already know how the biggest states of the country, which is like what California,
Texas.
Texas.
Yes.
They said this storm is the exact same size as Texas. That's bro. You know how many
Woo.
states that covers a lot of land, bro. That's crazy, man. I'm glad they ain't touching nowhere near this. Nowhere near it. Of course, when Isaiah also
That's a
talking about the
turn.
big three, boy, I'm actually excited to go see that, bro. I'm really excited to
Yeah.
go see that. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna keep
Yep.
you tab on it.
Yeah, that BIG3 basketball, I mean, it's a growing it's got a fan base that's out of this world, and I'm going to tell you right now that within a year or two we're going to be looking at they'll have millions upon millions of people looking at Big Three basketball because it's just a very unique sport where you got 3-on-3, and it's always more personable as opposed to having the current players in the NBA matched up against one another. You got 3-on-3, so it's more effort. It takes more energy because you got these players going hard trying to get these scores and playing defense as best they can. And to me, with
you can't lag. You can't lag on
exactly,
3-on-3
you
because
can't.
it's so much space. So if you don't want to play defense, somebody gonna they getting layup, no problem. So
Yep,
you have to participate. It's not like the pros when you can hide on defense and rest or whatever. No, on 3-on-3, you have to participate.
you do, and you can't be loping. I mean, a lot of people lope when you have a game that's the size, say like football, and you got 11 guys on each side, offense and defense, and after a play, you see players lope, especially the offensive and defensive linemen because they're the heaviest on the field. So anytime you see that, they can slide and get away with that, but you can't get away with that in Big Three because it's 3 players and the camera is zoomed in on all 3 players. So I'll tell you a little bit about my day and we'll get this party started. But I had a good day yesterday. And guess what? I saw a mechanical dog. A guy was walking a robot dog, the ones like you see that the military has developed for combat out in the field. This was a mid-sized robot, all chrome. And I drove by him and I was like, gee whiz, what is that? And it's sure enough, the first time ever seen a robot dog on the street, a person walking a robot dog. So we'll see more of that, I'm pretty sure, with technology, the way it's advancing itself. And technology is advancing by the seconds, not minutes, but by the seconds. So it was very fascinating to see that yesterday. I had a good day. Wrapped. We're doing this thing this morning, and every time we get a chance to do this thing with my kinfolk, my main kinfolk right here, it's special. It's special to me. I feel so blessed, and I mean, we're so enlightened by the fact that we could come to you and have you join our family into what we're doing on a daily basis. As Isaiah stated early, him and Najee is going to be at that Big 3 Championship, so we're excited about that. We'll be talking about that on our stream on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Some of the topics we're going to talk about today is, first and foremost, the NFL, and we're going to cover some of the NFL camp. Camp is about to wrap because we're about 2 weeks out before the first NFL games kick off the season, and they've named quarterbacks on each team, and we want to go over that. We have a list of names on each team, and we're going to cover them fairly quickly to be able to, identify which coach and which team designated their starters. So that's going to be one of Annie Brown's main topics. Second Annie Brown topic is going to be John Wall. He's an NBA player. I believe he played 11 years. And he was a phenomenal player. He came out of University of Kentucky, and he lit the NBA up. And I think he should go out with honors. I think he's a Hall of Fame. Definitely, he's headed that direction at some point in time from the way he played in the league. So we'll be covering a little bit of what he, how he accomplished all of these accomplishments throughout his career. Anthony Richardson for the Colts. We're going to cover that. Annie Brown has got Anthony Richardson, the coach for the Colts, Shane Steichen, I believe. Steichen, I hope I pronounced your name right. So he named Daniel Jones as the starter for the Colts, and Anthony Richardson's, him and his agent's pretty upset about it, and I can understand. It's just been unfortunate for Anthony Richardson that he's been injured on and off ever since he's been drafted by the Colts. So we'll cover a little bit of that. We're going to cover a little bit in boxing about Jake Paul. It's supposed to be official that Jake Paul is going to be going up against Gervonta Tank Davis. And Tank is,
which
to
is
me, a
crazy.
lightweight.
That's a
I believe
huge
he's a
that's
lightweight,
a
right?
huge different size.
It's a
Yeah,
huge
man.
different size.
He's giving up like 50, 60 pounds, and then he's giving up about like what 5 inches of height. I don't know how
Yeah.
that's gonna work out.
It's an exhibition fight because I think they were trying to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua matched up. Anthony Joshua is a legitimate heavyweight out of London, England. And I guess the talks broke down over probably contractual issues that they hit hard snags on. So I hope to see that at some point. I'd love to see Anthony Joshua go up against him, because that's a legitimate heavyweight. So Jake Paul has been fighting for quite some time now, so we'll see about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is still, as far as I know, fourth string, and they're going to start Joe Flacco, which we predicted. We'll see how
Mm-hmm.
far Shedeur can move up on the depth chart, because Kenny Pickett is right behind Joe Flacco, and you have Dylan Gabriel right behind Kenny Pickett. And then you got Shedeur Sanders. That's been a big deal. It's been a lot of chatter about it on the internet, so we'll talk about that. So let's get this party started. Where the party at?
Right here, baby. It was here last week.
It's
It
right
was
here,
a
big
week
dog.
before that,
It's right
last
here.
month, last year. And guess what? It's going to be here in 2026. So come join the family, baby. It's a family affair. Every time we're on, it's a family affair. So come on and join us.
Fam,
Woo!
come join us because we here and we happy to be here, and we bring you the best that we could bring you on all of our live streams as well as our recordings. So let's get this first one kicked off, and let's talk a little bit about John Wall. I'll start out with the NBA today. Najee, I'm going to have you go in and break down John Wall's career for us, because he's been a fantastic player over the years. I know he played for the LA Clippers for a while, and he's played for several other teams. I want to say he played for the
He only
Wizards,
did
right?
he only did like a half a season.
A half a
Yeah, he
season for
played
the
for
Clips.
the Wizards. Yeah, he played for the Wizards pretty much his whole career.
Correct, because I
He
remember watching him
after
a few
that he went to the
times.
Rockets. He went to the Rockets for about a half a season, and then he played for the Clippers for like maybe 40 games.
Yeah. Okay, so John Wall has had a unique career. Looking at his career numbers and his stats and stuff,
Oh, his number. He
his
was one of
numbers
the
is off
fastest
the
players
chart, right?
on ball. Yeah, his he was one of the fastest players on ball, bro. Like nobody was catching up with him. If he blew past you, he already broke the defense down. You think Westbrook is fast? John Wall is faster, bro.
Yeah.
John, didn't really jump off. He didn't jump out the gym like Westbrook, but John Wall is probably the fastest I ever seen somebody run with the ball off rip. His numbers was better than what's his name? Gilbert Arenas. Only thing Gilbert Arenas was really good was scoring the ball more, but this man will give you 22, 23, and like 10 assists. That's more valuable to me more than anything because you can get your points and you get other people involved.
Right. Right.
So when he
So
tore his Achilles, which you already know, when you tear your Achilles for a fast player, you're pretty much done. You're pretty much done. But what I thought, I said, bro, like, how did he tear his Achilles? I didn't see that game. He tore his Achilles falling at his home. He
wow,
was doing
that's a
something at
freak
his home,
accident,
and
then, right?
he tore his Achilles at home. It's
That's
crazy,
crazy.
man.
That's one of them freak accidents where because me being my age now, I know sometimes one night I went out to my garage and I tripped over something, and if my car wouldn't have been sitting there, I would have went flat. I would have went face down because I wasn't able to grab my balance in time, so I was able to grab onto the car and balance myself out before I went down because I would have been down and I probably broke something. So stuff
Yeah.
like that do happen. And we don't wish that on anybody, right?
Yeah,
So Isaiah,
at all.
it looks like John Wall has, he averaged 18 points, 19 points a game, four
And right under
rebounds.
9 assists.
and about 9 assists. Yeah, his field goal percentage was 43%. So Isaiah, tell us a little bit about what you think about that being the case for John Wall.
Well, I watched him play on all of these different teams, and he just was productive, man. And when you see a guy have that type of body of work, that's to be admired because the expand of athletes is so in the neighborhood of 5 years or between 5 and 8 years. So when you pass that, you can consider that to be a successful career. So man, more power to him, man. Yep. I just think it was a beautiful career for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he played at UK, and he had an illustrious career when he was at UK as well, because and it comes a time in your career at some point in time where you have to kind of make up your mind, or something comes to you and say, look, this time for me to go do something else. It's time for me to advance to that next level in my life, because I have accomplished all of the accomplishments that I expected to accomplish at the level that I played at. And he's probably played basketball since he was a child. And I'm not going to even add probably in there.
That's you. Yeah, I mean, that's
Exactly.
when you're a great player. You all playing basketball at a young age. The crazy thing about it, you all playing basketball at a young age, and unless you play like Kobe, LeBron, and Chris Paul, that's 20 years, 20 plus years, that window is short as heck, bro. So imagine playing a sport between 3, 4 years old all the way until a teenager to make the pros. So you're talking about at least 14, 15 years
Right.
to have a career that only averages about 5, 6 years.
Yeah,
Right.
So
but
unless so
when you
unless
get
you unless you phenomenal, and like GOAT status almost basically in whatever position you play, your window is not that long at all, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The preparation for the NBA or for the pros is longer than your career
It is.
on
It
average.
really is.
I
And
think
you know
that
what?
sacrifice is still worth it. That
Sacrifice.
sacrifice
No, of
is
course it is.
still.
Of course it is. Because
Exactly.
you any career you have is already a sacrifice. So you might as well.
But if you think about it, guys, you got a kid that started out around between 7 years old when they really get into it and start to really enjoy going out there to the baseball diamond and going out to the football field and playing tennis or whatever that sport may be. You started around 7. That's when you really know whether you want to do that or not.
Thank
And
you.
you play it
Thank
all
you.
the way to adulthood, and then you make it to the professional level. Once you make it to the professional level, if you be there for at least 2 to 4 or 5 years, your life is set. Especially if you know how to get that money and parlay it into something different. You know how to invest it and do things that could be a generational thing. You can take your family to another stratosphere financially if you do it all correctly. And if you leave the game after 4 years and indulge in something else, you have the finances to carry it. So I think that sacrifice is right on time. I mean, you do something that you love and also getting paid enormous money for it is nothing better. And then you
Yeah.
retire early and you can enjoy the money if you do it right, as opposed to going to a 9 to 5 job and working 30 years and then you get a pension, or either you just get some form of retirement where you still got to be really, really careful how you spend. You go on this little modest vacation or buy a car every now and then and just get your bills paid. And that's about it.
That's
That's
so
how that
true.
works.
And
So,
health
Yep.
insurance is something, boy, after a certain age.
mhm. Oh
And
man.
the good thing about professional sports, I think, is their insurance programs that they have in these professional leagues. They take good care of you. I mean, you have invested some of your money into that over time. At least some players. I don't know how it's laid out in any particular league, but I'm assuming and I'm sure that there's an arrangement where the player could put money away for
It
his
is.
health care and his
It's
family's health
all in the
care.
collective bargaining agreement, DC. All of that
Exactly.
is their collective bargaining agreement. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing that I want to bring up, and you guys really hit it spot on. Both of you guys were at the same time. Preparation, and preparation is one of the biggest ones, because anything you want to do in life, you want to prepare for it. A lot of people, and there's some people out there that can go into things without preparing for anything, and they turn out to be successful. But on the flip side of that, if you don't really plan out anything that you have in your life that you want to do in particular or specifically, you're going to hit a hard stop somewhere. You're going to be slowed down somewhere, you know? So I would just recommend to everyone, and it took me forever to figure it out because now I'm preparing for everything. Whenever we bring you this show, we try to prepare for the best preparation possible to bring you this show, because if we were just shooting off the hip, I mean, we might still be interesting to listen to, but it's not going to be like you're organized and you're professional like you see some of the major networks like ESPN and stuff. They prepare. They have people that prep in certain areas. So preparation is really good. It looks like John Wall is 34 years old. That is an excellent time to retire. He's still in the very youthful part of his life. I mean, if you think about it. And with the amount of money that he's earned over his NBA career, he should live, his life should be set, as well as his family's life for generations, based on how he's managing his financial empire. And I'm assuming that he's going to manage it right. So we'll keep an eye out, and we wish John Wall well. We wish you well in your future endeavors of what you want to do beyond basketball, whether it's staying involved in basketball and becoming a coach, or if you want to go to the outside business world. Either way, bruh, you're going to be fine. So just think of it like that. And we hope to have you on this show one day. You're always welcome here. So we just letting you know that. So let's move on to our next Annie Brown topic. And that topic is going to be Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson is an amazing athlete. Anthony Richardson lit it up when he was at University of Florida. He has the size, he has the intangibles, he has the speed, he has the arm, and he has the IQ to play the game. However, he hasn't been fortunate over the past several years where he's been injured in games on and off, and he's been out of the lineup, in the lineup, out of the lineup, in the lineup. And then the Colts traded for Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones played for the New York Giants. He was given a huge bag. They just completely avoided Saquon's bag and gave the bag to Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones didn't work out in New York, so he ended up in Indianapolis. This is kind of a career restart for Daniel Jones, I think. Daniel Jones has an opportunity to prove the Giants made a mistake letting him go. However,
Try to pull the same Barkley move. Yeah.
right. But I've seen levels of greatness in Daniel Jones, and I've seen levels where he hadn't performed up to expectation of an NFL quarterback. So I'm going to start out with Isaiah, and I'm going to just ask you, Isaiah, with
Sound like Dak Prescott to me.
right. And we'll talk a little bit about Dak, because Dak is on the bubble constantly. I know Jerry Jones is constantly talking about Dak, and it's not so favorable sometimes, you know. But Isaiah, can you feel how Anthony Richardson feels to be told that, look, you're not going to be the starting quarterback at the beginning of the season for the first game?
Man, that stuff like that is devastating. When you work hard and you think you did what you needed to do to be the starter, and all of a sudden you come up short despite all the things that you did for the organization, the team, and to prep yourself to get ready for it, and then you come up short. It's devastating, man. I mean, it's severely devastating to a player, man, because I know when I played, it was almost the whole entire year where I tried to maintain some degree of being in shape, I didn't want to get out of shape. I always ran during the off season. I always try to keep myself healthy where I was eating right and lifting weights and stuff like that because the next season I felt like I needed to be better. And that's probably the case with him. And then to come up short where you're not getting a job, that's devastating, man. It can go inside of some guy's psyche and then they really don't recover from it. So, man, I think you just really got to be focused to maintain that level of focus because when something don't go your way, it could be catastrophic, man. And I just want to see the guy get out there and do his thing. Give him a job and let him start and see what he's doing. Then start messing up in them games, then you snatch him. But to see him come short, it don't feel good at all. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Absolutely. And Daniel Jones is a legitimate quarterback. I think he can carry a team. And Anthony Richardson, I don't know what is needed for him for his health, but he's going to have to do something, I would say, beyond when he gets an opportunity to play again. Because I'm telling you right now, Anthony Richardson will get another opportunity to start for the Colts. I'm pretty confident that he's going to be brought back in there at some point, especially if Daniel Jones stinks up the place. He's going to be asked to go back in there, and when he goes,
he's got to be ready.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be prepared. And whatever's in the back of your mind, because I know when you get injured once or twice, you start thinking about it when you're in a game. When you're in a game and that can cross your mind, that you're looking at these guys, and these guys look like monsters across the line. If you look at the other side on the defensive side, and they are really trying to get you out of the game physically. And they're not going to lighten up. They're not going to hit you light. They're going to try to hit you harder because they feel like you might be injury prone. So they're going to try to get you out of there in your career, whatever the case may be. It's friendly afterward, but while you're playing, you're going to have to step it up. So me on behalf of Anthony Richardson is train hard, and protect yourself as best you can, because your offensive line can only protect you for a certain amount of seconds, 100, 2 100, 3 100, and then you have to release the ball if you're not already doing that, which you might be, or you need to protect yourself and cover up if you see these defenders coming, even though you have the size to take on some of those defenders, which is highly important, So
my advice to him is just to block out the nonsense. Because if you can block out that, you got 95% of it whipped. It's whooped by 95% if you just block out the stuff. Just keep focused on your job at hand, and that's it. Don't worry about being injured, none of that stuff. Don't worry about looking over your shoulder, none of that. Just focus on your progress at hand. That's it.
Yeah. And the players who think like you just explained, they tend not to get hurt, or they tend not to get hurt as fast. But if you got in the back of your mind, look, man, I got to be worried about this guy blindsiding me from my backside or this, you got to just play with reckless abandon. You just got to go out there and play the game with reckless abandon and forget about anything else. However it ends, you're good. But you're out there to get that win. And that's the ultimate goal. One thing I want to bring up is we got some of our family done joined us, and we've got a couple of comments here, and it's about Najee's shirt. So Najee, would you break down and explain your shirt? One of our family members said, "Why is bro wearing a bad boy shirt? Doesn't he know Diddy is a clown?" Is this a bad boy shirt from Diddy, or is it just a bad boy shirt from just a regular shirt?
It's from Diddy, no, but it's definitely Biggie Small shirt.
Okay, that sounds
Biggie
good.
Small.
It's nothing wrong with honoring Biggie and wearing a shirt for Biggie, because we do have another family member that said with Biggie Small shirt, all right, fam, it's okay, and LOL, which is laughing out loud. So I just wanted to clarify that because we got some good family members here following us, and we want you guys involved with us, good, bad, or indifferent. So you clarified that it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with Diddy, which is good,
Not Diddy
I'm gonna tell you
circumstances,
right
no.
now.
or not Diddy's
I
circumstances.
wish. Listen, that family member who just commented, if he listened to our prior show, he know how we went in on Diddy. He would have
Hmm.
known how
Exactly.
we went on
Exactly.
him.
Check,
I
check,
went in on him, his kids, and his mama.
check out some of our past shows covering Diddy. We're not
Yep,
light on Diddy. We don't
I'm telling you, at
we don't
all.
At all.
we don't idolize Diddy on this show. And you
Mm,
know, for all he's been accused of and all the few things that he's been convicted of, we don't condone that type of behavior on this
yep.
show. And we're not
Nope.
going to wear anything or promote anything to show that we're in support of someone who does something like that, because we're not. So we just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, I have that family member to keep an open mind because that bad boy thing, Diddy actually stole that from Bad Boys. Bad Boy, what you gonna do? That was a jam, but he just hijacked that. That was it. That wasn't trademarked by him. He just happened to have Bad Boy records and all of that. He hijacked that, but long before he was came with, it was a reggae jam. You know, they used to
Yeah, I
have a
remember
cop
that.
special
Bad
with Bad
Boys, the
Boys
cop
on.
show.
Right, right, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the quarterback situation on each team. And I'm going to name a few because we're not going to cover all 32 teams. But first, I want to start with Cleveland and get you guys' take on this Shedeur Sanders. I call it a Shedeur Sanders drama. It's a drama situation where Shedeur Sanders is a legitimate quarterback. Shedeur Sanders has all of the intangibles to be successful at the NFL level. I would hope people can take that information and register it, that whether he's Deion Sanders' son or not, he wasn't given any special favors in the
No.
sense that he was given opportunities that he didn't take advantage of, in other words. Shedeur
Mm,
Sanders, for every opportunity that he was given an opportunity to play quarterback, to me, proved that he could play quarterback. He
mm,
reminds me a lot of Steve McNair. There is some differences from him and Steve McNair, but when Steve McNair played, nobody thought Steve McNair was going to make it out of Alcorn State and be able to come into the NFL and light up the Tennessee Titans like he did all those years. Steve McNair wasn't a scrambling quarterback. He couldn't run. He couldn't get out of the way of a rush, but he had the line to protect him, just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a line that kept him, pretty much, he was clean the whole
Shelf.
game. I mean, you might
Mm,
get in there and disturb him a little bit, but with the way the Patriots offense was laid out, you wasn't going to go in there and get Tom Brady on the ground easily, because those linemen weren't going to let you. They were going to hold you. They were going to jack you up. They were going to do whatever they needed to do to keep you
yeah,
from getting to him. So my
yeah.
That's how
concern
I
with
felt about
Shedeur,
Peyton Manning.
exactly, and Peyton Manning was very similar with the Colts line. They didn't let anybody get in there on him
Hmm.
really quickly.
Nope,
So the only,
nope.
I would say, intangible that Shedeur has is he could get out of the way of the rush. When he was in college, he held on to the ball too long, as far as I'm concerned, but he's in a pro system right now where they're not going to tolerate him holding on the ball like that. He's going to have to release that ball and get it out of his hands. And, with all of the drama that's going on within that organization, with the owner saying that, well, I wasn't involved and it wasn't my choice to draft Shedeur Sanders, I thought that was a very
Yeah,
unfavorable
cop out.
remark to come from an
It's a
owner.
cop out too. It's a
Yeah,
cop out,
because the
man.
owner controls everything that goes on in that football operation. And don't let anybody fool you that owner wasn't consulted before they drafted him in the 5th round, Shedeur Sanders. So I'm going to start with you, Najee, and I'm going to just ask you, do you think Shedeur Sanders should be higher on the depth chart? And if you think he should, why should he be higher on the depth chart?
I mean, the only person that he should be behind is the person that started. Because just like you said, that he needs to learn how to get rid of the ball faster, right? So why not learn from a Super Bowl champion? Like, why not be able to sit back? I don't know if it's a half a season, a full season, to learn how to, play in the NFL tempo versus the NCAA. Because I mean,
Yeah,
even the greatest quarterbacks have done it already. When you had Aaron Rodgers doing that for Brett Favre, and guess what? He's known for one of the best passes of all time. So why not be able to
right.
learn from a person like that? It's not like he's learning from a scrub. Joe Flacco can still play. So I mean, why not?
That's a good point. And Joe Flacco is the right choice to make. And, um, there is no other way you could shape it other than give Joe Flacco that first opportunity, first dib to prove that he belongs in there as a starting quarterback, even though he has age on him as well. Now, a name I haven't heard much is Kenny Pickett's name. I mean, Kenny Pickett is currently sitting second on the depth chart, but there has not been any much chatter around Kenny Pickett. Why is that, Isaiah? Why isn't Kenny Pickett being mentioned more as the person that would sub for Joe Flacco rather than Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur being at the very tail end of the depth chart?
It's amazing how they just skipping over him, DC. It's amazing to me how they skipping over him. You have the starter, you got the third string, and then the fourth string, and they just totally keep skipping over him. He's barely being mentioned. But I just look at it like this: the most productive person should be at number two.
Thank you.
You already got Flacco's going to start, but then the most productive out of that other three should be number two. Now, I'm just really going to be patient about this thing and see how it unfolds once the season starts. I don't know whether they're going to keep all four of them, but I just want to see how this thing progresses because at some point, it's going to be some more movement going on in this organization because I just cannot bear the fact that Shador, with his high productivity, is sitting at four. I just don't understand it. But then on the flip side of this, it's organized where you got Flacco, then you got the number two, and you got the number three, which is Shador. And the way he played the games I've seen him play, he ain't got no business being at number four at all. But I just want to see once the season starts because there's going to be some mistakes made out there. There's going to be some injuries probably going to come about, and then he'll move around on the chart. But right now he's sitting at four, and I just want to be patient and have a open mind about what they're doing because I don't feel like some side of me saying it's not fair, but I just want to just watch it just unfolds. That's what I'm eager to see.
But it's also because of his name too now. Because I mean, the other two people, nobody even thinking about him. You mentioned the other two players. It's not moving the needle nowhere. So of course they're gonna talk about the one that's starting and then the one they would like to start. That's the only people that's all they're gonna talk about. And the only reason why he's probably fourth is now is because he's got that injury. So why would we consider somebody else being two or three and they not even healthy to play?
Right.
And that's where the discrepancy comes, Najee. And that's where the discrepancy comes because all it takes is Flacco to get hurt, Kenny Pickens go in there, and then we're going to see what happens after that because I haven't seen Pickens play. Have you guys seen him play?
At
I saw
all.
him play at Pittsburgh. When he was at Pittsburgh, he was a starter at Pittsburgh.
No, we're not talking about Pittsburgh.
We're talking about the Browns, right?
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play.
Browns.
No.
And that's the point I'm making. That's exactly what I'm making. So let's see how this thing happens when the season starts because there's going to be some movement somewhere.
Well, he played behind Jalen Hurts at Philadelphia, and he got himself a Super Bowl ring, which I'm happy for him for that. He hadn't really played much since he left Pittsburgh. I mean, even when he was with Philadelphia, there was several times that he did come in and he played and he was able to, make some plays here and there. And I think
in DC, You talk about at number two, the man got a job. At number two, his job is solidified. And you
True.
got everybody else fighting like cats and dogs. And he hadn't even played. I just, it's mind boggling to me. I'm just waiting for the season to start to see how this movement goes because it ain't nowhere in the world it could be that quiet about a guy who would never play and his job is secured. It's,
Yeah,
it's beyond me.
that's a good
Beyond
point.
me.
That is a good point. So this drama and the saga of this drama is going to continue as long as Shedeur is on any team, whether he stays with the Browns. If he stays with the Browns, which I'm hoping he does, it's still going to be constant drama until he gets that opportunity to play consistently, where people can see what he can do. And
Yeah.
when Shador gets out there, and this is my message to Shador, when you get out there on that field, you better show up and show out.
He'll do
And I
that
know he
regardless.
will. He
In his
will.
DNA.
I'm
He's
not
that kind of
even
guy.
worried about whether he's able and capable to play quarterback at the NFL level, especially if his offensive line is good and they can protect him and keep him clean in that pocket. They're good. I think he'll be fine because when I first saw Shedeur at Jackson State, I had heard the name, but I never really got a chance to see him play. I was extremely impressed when I saw him at Jackson State. And even if he would have stayed at Jackson State, he would have still lit up the airwaves and he still would have got
Well,
drafted. I don't know
he
what
was doing it there.
he was destined to be great anyway. So at
Yeah.
Jackson State,
Yeah.
he was able to parlay that into success. And then when his father, Coach Prime Deion Sanders, got that job at Colorado, he brought his Louis with him. And that was Shiloh and him and Travis Hunter and, a
Yeah.
handful of other players because it was just those main guys identified. He brought quite a few Louis Vuittons with him when he went to Colorado that first year. And when he gave
Yeah.
that little speech to the team the year before he got there, he told them that, look, I'm going to be bringing my Louis. If you want to stay, work hard, and be great, you're welcome to stay here. But if you want to jump in that portal, you're free to get in that portal and do what's best for you. Make the decision. If you want to stay here, that's fine. But if you don't want to stay here, make a decision based on your best interest, not anyone else's. So,
I don't think he has to prove anything to anyone, DC and Najee. I really don't. He just has that killer instinct in him, and it's genetic, man. Like you just indicated about him being at Jackson State, I watched him even when he was in Little League, clippings of him in Little League, and then when he went to Jackson State, that was just moving up the plateau, and then to see him make that transition over to Division 1 and he was still highly productive and he pulled off a lot of 1 to 2 minute games where they won those games with a touchdown. And it goes to show you he just has that winning attitude. So all he has to do is go out there and just be himself. That's it. He don't have to do anything spectacular. He knows what's up ahead. He's prepared for it. He's ready for the time. And all he has to do is just be himself. I mean, it'll be sad to see the line break down and don't protect him, and it'll be almost premeditated if they do him like that. But just go out there and just be you. The thing with him holding on to the ball that you indicated earlier, DC, that just was a matter of him trying to make something happen because
true.
I've seen him chuck the ball down the field early. I've seen him get rid of the ball with curls and things like that, smaller passes. But then when he got in trouble, he just always had that attitude of making something happen when the system break down on him, when he had to run for cover and to get rid of the ball. No, and sometimes he don't because he's trying to make a play happen. And more often than not, it was successful at it. I mean, he didn't really fumble the ball or either throw an interception. You just felt like he should have got rid of it earlier, but he was always trying to make something happen. And I feel like in the NFL, if he understands that, even to make something happen, just continue to be you. That's it. The
Yeah,
only
all he
thing
has to
he
do is
has
be
to
himself and play
recognize,
football.
the
All of the
only
other
thing he
stuff,
has to
drama
recognize,
aside, just play football and everything else will take care of itself. That's just how it is. I mean, in any industry or any sport, you play the
Mhm.
game at the highest level you could play the game, and then it'll all take care of itself because the media is known to, prop you up and then bring you down. That's just how the media is.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, DC. The only thing that both of these quarterbacks has, what was that third string guy name? It slipped me. The third string. I
You're
mean,
talking
the
about
the
Dylan Gabriel. Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel. One thing I see that he didn't understand yet, and that's why he had like a piss poor game where he threw a pick and all that stuff. He did not recognize, and this is the reason why I think Shador gonna overcome this thing because he hadn't recognized how fast those defensive backs are in the NFL. They break on the ball much faster than they do in college. They're faster. They react quicker. So he around here talking about celebrities and all of this kind of foolishness. He better understand how fast those DBs are in that secondary. And
True.
that's his thing.
But that
Yeah.
goes for all of those quarterbacks on that depth chart, and not just for Dylan and Shador. That goes for Pickett and for Joe
Pickett
Flacco
already
as
found out.
well. They break
You
on the
had
ball a
already,
lot faster in the
they
NFL as
break on
defensive
this.
backs, right?
Those are the two that know about it. The number two and the number one, they know about it. These two, number three and number four, is the ones got to get that in their head.
Right. And let me repeat to everyone. I've watched Dylan Gabriel play, and I watched him play at Oklahoma, and he single-handedly beat Texas in that Red River rivalry with his own legs. He literally beat Texas. Texas had a really good team. They had a solid defense, and that's when Dylan Gabriel was playing for Oklahoma, and he literally beat Texas with his legs. Dylan Gabriel is a good football player. He is not a bad football player. And when I commented about a pick and a fumble, look, he's a rookie. I mean, he's a rookie just like any other rookie. So there's going to have to be, you know, depths of levels that he's going to have to get to and rise above just like Shador does. Unfortunately, in the NFL, they only keep three quarterbacks. So when they keep three quarterbacks, somebody is the odd man out. And I don't know which one's going to be the odd man out. Maybe Jimmy Haslam, the owner, may roll with four quarterbacks. I don't see it. So we'll definitely continue covering this because this is very important. And I think Shedeur brings a lot of dynamic to the Browns organization that they've been missing. The Browns has been kind of one of them teams hasn't been talked about a lot over the past 20 plus years, you know, and they're not as popular as Pittsburgh and all of those other teams that play against them. So let's move on. Annie Brown has another topic, and we're talking about NFL starting QBs for the 2025 season. And it looks as though I want to start out in the AFC East. Buffalo is a no-brainer. I would say New England is a no-brainer with Drake May. It looks like Tua has been given the thumbs up and the go-ahead in Miami. So Isaiah, Miami is as solid as you say it is. Do you think Tua should be the starting quarterback starting off the year?
Why not? That's
Who's
crazy.
a
That
backup?
question was crazy. Dude,
That's a
you
crazy
know good
question,
and
right?
well. Yes, it is. You got rid of a damn coach for crying out loud to keep this guy there, man. Man, and listen, only thing they've been wanting him to do is just remain healthy. They gave him everything. The team is built around him. The community love him. They absolutely adore him, man. If he can just be healthy, he'll be the next Marino in terms of how they think about him in this city. They love him. That's all he need to do. He's got a good core receivers. He's got good running backs. And all he have to do
He
is
has a
just
great
remain
he has a
healthy.
great receiver
Oh,
core.
man.
He has a great
Oh, he
Yes,
receiver
he
core.
does.
does.
I mean, you
And
can look at
all he had
Jalen
to do,
Waddle, you look at Tyreek Hill.
yeah,
They got some really burning receivers. I mean, them guys can get
he
open for
absolutely
sure.
does, man.
Like
And the
Waddle's
thing
not
is,
that fast, but he has great hands. But he catches a cold anywhere, bro.
Oh, for
He
yeah,
sure.
catches almost everything you throw at him.
Yep.
yeah. And you know what? One thing I can see with the Dolphins, it's just like the offensive line, they just love Tua, man. I mean, I don't know what the hell he say to these people. I know one thing, he loved to take them for barbecues and stuff and buy them stuff, and that could be some motivation why they like. But they just like him, man. When he's healthy, they move up and down the field. He just always tend to get injured. But I've seen the dramatic drop off on offense when he's not in. When he's not in the lineup, it's just everything is in disarray. Even our coach is in disarray. McDaniel is in total disarray. It
Why would you
almost
say
drives
that?
him to
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
drinking
whoa, 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 whoa. Why would you say McDaniels is in total disarray? Mike
because
McDaniel.
he put all his eggs in the one basket with
Yeah,
Tua.
one
That's
basket.
his
Yep.
everything, man. He loved this guy. He sit there and nurture him. He come when he put him in a fetal position and then put him like he's in the baby manger. He kissed him on the head when he got injured. He do all this thing, man. He loved that guy. And so when something not going right, you can see in his eyes that bother him. If it just really bother him. But let me tell you this: when Tua is healthy, McDaniel's life is fulfilled.
Well,
His
he's one of
play
the most
calling seems
dangerous
like,
quarterbacks in the NFL when he's healthy, I think.
of course he is. That's why I'm telling
Yeah.
you, if he could just remain healthy, man, it's just. Even when Tyreek was pissed off last year, he got to understand something. He had a rocky quarterback situation, and then it was just like the merry-go-round and the seesaw. But so long as this guy Tua can stay healthy, man, damn it, I want him to stay healthy to see what they can do and see how far they can go. Because they working on their defense to be able to stop people. The defense was solid a couple of years ago. Then it took a dramatic change when they start letting folks go. But now I think we're back on par. I think we're going to be okay. So Tua,
They didn't
yeah,
pay him. That's why.
there's no doubt about it. He's going to start DC.
And I don't have any issues with Tua being named the starting quarterback. You got Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback out of Texas. He's a rookie. I think he's going to work out. If you
Yeah,
look at Quinn Ewers, as far as I could see on the Miami depth chart right now, he's at number 3. And it looks
yeah,
like Zach Wilson is on the
Zach
second
Wilson.
position at the depth chart. Zach Wilson has been in the league for a little while. Started out with the Jets,
Okay.
and he didn't
That's
work
good. That
out
means
with the
Zach Wilson gonna
Jets.
play sometime this year. He gonna play sometime this year then.
Right.
you know what that means. You know what Najee trying to
Good
indicate
because Tua
Well,
that
misses
what
games every season.
Okay,
Tua is. I mean, that's facts. He missed games every season.
okay.
well, it depends on how clean he can. That pocket can stay. If that pocket stay clean, I don't think he. I
DC,
think
I'm
he'll
He don't
be
even
disappointed.
be the
very
pocket all the
effective.
time.
DC,
Have you seen him
Tua got hurt
slide?
walking down on
He's
DC.
every
Tua got hurt and
quarterback. They
slide.
baseball slide.
He
Well, that
got
means
hurt
they
walking
go
back to the
foot.
huddle
The
one
the
year.
foot go forward.
He,
He throws his head forward.
yeah,
That's
He
the
goes
worst thing
head
you can
forward.
do.
he's
Exactly.
scary,
You
man.
don't go.
When
You
he's on
don't
the
drop your
field,
head forward, man. That was the
yeah,
reason one of his concussions last season because he
yeah, he
throws his
need to
head
learn the
forward
baseball
versus his
slide.
feet.
They
You
need to put a
you
baseball
in the
diamond
city
in
with
his
the Marlins and
backyard
you
and let
still
him
don't know how to
slide at
baseball
first
slide.
base. Yeah, they need
Yeah.
to put a
Well, he's
baseball
he's gonna have to
diamond in his
learn to
backyard.
protect himself in the best way possible, right? Because I'm gonna tell
Yeah, and
you
Yes.
that nobody is gonna be light on him. Just as well as I just
No.
said
They
about
already know
any
how
other
vulnerable he
quarterback in the
is.
league. That's Anthony
Why would they go
Richardson.
light?
Yeah. Oh, he had concussion, so I'm gonna go light on him. I'm not gonna hit him hard. No, it doesn't work like that.
they're
Nah.
He's
gonna try to take you
they
out.
gonna try to
They'll try to take
take
you
him
out.
out.
Yeah,
That's how that
yeah,
works.
yeah.
You might be
So
lucky. He might be lucky he's not playing with Ray Lewis and I'm still playing. The way he plays.
Well,
That's
they
true.
got a few guys that still go over there and give them a nice hit. They got a few
Absolutely.
guys left to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So looking at these other divisions, the AFC North is a no-brainer. I mean, you look at Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Flacco is for Cleveland. Pittsburgh is to be determined. So that to me is surprising. I would expect to see Aaron Rodgers' name as being named the starter. So I guess it's taking Mike Tomlin a little bit of extra time to decipher who he's going to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if that makes sense. I mean,
He has not named his starter, DC?
it says to be determined, but I'm going to go ahead and check it now because I think it's very important for me to check it to find out who's the starter being named for Pittsburgh.
Aaron Rodgers is going to start. They ain't benching him, man. I guarantee you Aaron Rodgers is going to start. They're not benching Aaron Rodgers, man. They're
Of course
not.
not.
He's going to be just
According
like
to
Flacco. He's
this,
going to
they
start.
have not named a quarterback yet, but it looks as though their quarterback room has Aaron Rodgers designated
Yeah.
as a starter per ESPN. Mason Rudolph is the second, and Mason Rudolph has played for Pittsburgh before as a backup. And then you look at Will Howard as a rookie, and then Skylar Thompson. I know you remember Skylar Thompson. He used to play for the Dolphins, you know.
Mhm.
So those are pretty much no-brainers for the AFC North. If you look at the AFC South, it's pretty much the same, with the exception of Indianapolis naming Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. AFC West is a no-brainer other than Vegas naming a starting quarterback according to this. It's still to be determined. The NFC East, it's a no-brainer. Russell Wilson is the only one that, you know, that just moved to the Giants, and he's been designated a starter for the Giants. JJ McCarthy, he's coming back from an injury for the NFC North from Minnesota, so he'll be the designated starter for the Minnesota Vikings. It looks like Caleb Williams played really well in several preseason games. He's been lighting it up. He's got Ben Johnson as his offensive coordinator. That's the best thing ever could have happened to Caleb Williams, to have Ben Johnson with being an offensive mind that he is, since he was with Detroit and he had that high-octane offense with Jared Goff over at Detroit. I think Caleb Williams is going to be doing some big things coming up this year if he could stay healthy, if they can keep him clean back in that pocket as well. Tampa Bay, it's pretty much the same. Carolina looks like Bryce Young is going to be the starter for them this year, and I'm wishing Bryce Young well. I like that kid. He played hard at Alabama when he was playing for Saban. He's undersized, but I think his talent and his ability to be able to overcome a lot of that at the NFL level, he just hadn't had an opportunity to prove that yet. It looks like New Orleans has not named a quarterback either.
Let me ask you something before we move any further. DC, where is Bridgewater is on that Tampa Bay roster?
Tampa Bay for Bridgewater. Let's look at the Tampa Bay's depth chart. Because I think he's second, but let's check.
You know, I got some comments that we'll talk about in a later show, but I'm looking at Bridgewater come off the street in second string, and you got a guy like Shedeur Sanders is like fighting for his life.
Yeah, it's like the exact opposite, right?
Yes, man. You got younger legs, you got a younger mind, and all this stuff, and then you got a guy who was out of football partial a year, who won a state championship coaching, and then all of a sudden get pulled back into the NFL in second string and embarking on probably a starting job if the quarterback go down some kind of way.
Okay, so let me just name off the quarterback room for the Tampa Bay.
Bridgewater's third right now, though.
Bridgewater's third, and he's playing behind Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask played at Florida, the Gators.
Okay.
And he's the second quarterback on the depth chart right now. So Bridgewater's still in a good position.
He's in a
because
great position.
he's in a great position because he's not fourth, of course, like you
Right.
say, right?
And he's gonna make the team. I mean,
Oh,
he's
for
really
sure,
gonna make this team.
for sure, for sure.
Well, this is a
So
seesaw.
New Orleans look like they're the only one of the few teams in the NFC South that doesn't have a quarterback that they've named
That's
as a
big.
starter.
Yeah.
Michael Penix, I was under the assumption that he would be named starter for the Falcons, but it looks like Kirk Cousins is definitely going to be the designated starter, at least to start the season out, according to this information. The NFC West, San Francisco, Brock Purdy, the Rams to be determined. Now, the Rams, if Matthew Stafford is healthy, he's going to start. That's without a doubt. So, Seattle, the Seahawks hasn't quite named one, and Arizona is to be determined. So, that pretty much sums up all of the quarterbacks for the NFL on who's going to be starting. You know, as much as I think certain quarterbacks should be playing, they're not playing, and just the opposite. So we'll cover this at some later date, and we'll see when the season kicks off. Let's get into this last topic Annie Brown has for us. It looks as though the security guard for the Miami Heat has admitted that, he pleaded guilty to that crime of taking those jerseys away from that locker room. What do you think about that? Because it looks like he made $2 million off of it, right?
Inside work, man. This because there's no way somebody off the street can just execute it with no problem. It has to be inside work in order for it to be smooth. Anything that's of value, of great value, is well protected. So the only way you can know how to get something that's well protected is you have to be inside.
Right. That's true. Because nobody from outside can get in there and have access to all of that stuff as easily as a security guard.
If any one of us want to do it, we don't even know where they even start.
DC,
so it has to be inside.
A huge issue. It's like you betrayed the trust of a guy like this. This guy was just not a security guard. He was a sworn law enforcement officer, man.
He was retired, from what I picked up.
Retired. He did it. He did the whole service of it, the whole year, all his years. That means when you have somebody with that type of credentials, you think he's the person to trust out of anybody that applied.
Out of all of them, because he's on work all the way to retirement. But that dirty, sticky hand still lies in him. And it is just unbelievable how this guy was trusted like that. And that's what you do. You don't get a guy who's making $12 an hour to oversee all of these valuable products. Mm-hmm. You get a guy who you start say, okay, he's got his situation secured. He worked for 30 years or 25 years, whatever the case may be, and he retired. But he's still a sworn officer. He still had arrest powers and all of that stuff.
True.
Because his certification was still intact. But then he goes there and steals. Man, they got a red-handed too. That's why he admitted to the lessen the charges. He just said, okay, man, you got me, dog. And to lessen those charges, man, because he better hope that some of that stuff is recovered, because that can also lessen the charges too. Man, it's just unbelievable how you just cannot trust people, man. You just can't trust people. That means you gotta have one person watching one person, the other person watching this person, just like you do a damn accountant. You got to have an accountant and an accountant watching that accountant and a lawyer watching that.
So let me ask you guys this though. My question to you, gentlemen, my kinfolk: do you think he should be punished with prison time or suspended sentence?
You know why? Man, they need to lock his behind up. Know why? Because he ain't no different from nobody else. Lock his behind up, because you got to understand something. That was grand theft, man. That was grand theft. It's just like if you went out there and got behind the wheel and you was drinking As a law enforcement officer, you pulling people over for DUI, and then of course you get caught for drinking and driving, and nothing happened to you. Enough of that crap. Giving these guys time to be lenient with them just because they're the law. You're supposed to set an example. That's the
True.
reason why they gave
Example.
him the damn job, man. They gave him that job because they felt like he could be trusted, and he betrayed their trust. Lock his
That his
behind up.
resume speaks for itself. Yeah.
Man, lock his behind up.
You know what I
Damn him.
suspect? You know what I suspect? If he could pay the money back, if he could pay every dime of that money back, they're not going to put him in prison. They gonna suspend
Nah.
that sentence. I
Nah.
suspect. That's
Nah.
just this. This is
Nah.
my angle of it because, for one thing, when law enforcement or ex-law enforcement, whether they retired or whether they left under different pretenses, they don't put them in jail. They don't put them in prison. The system just won't do it. Now, if he can't come up with that money, he might serve some time.
DC.
Well, he's going to be isolated from the general population anyway because he's been involved with
Right,
law enforcement.
right.
So he's not going to
Well,
be
let me
with
tell you
the
guys,
average Joe that they get locked up anywhere.
It looks like it's a federal
DC.
crime. I mean, it was U.S.
It
Superior Court. So, from what I'm reading
Yeah.
here, the Southern District of Florida. So, it's not a state case. It looks like it's a federal case that they're trying him through the federal courts. And that can be tricky right there in itself.
It's always a trick
Yeah.
bad when that way, and maybe he might just get a slap on the wrist because
I think he will.
the money part of it really
Something
is not
that
a big issue
publicized
because
this big, you talking about it's going to be just slap on the wrist? If it stayed in house, yes, it made too much attention. They
the,
waiting to see
the,
what's going to happen to him.
no, nothing. You got to
Okay.
follow what's going on in the world today. The folks don't matter who knows what, and if you down with the right person, you walking, dog. And believe
Thank you.
that. If
Thank
you
you.
got the right people in your corner, too, it's just like this. What's up, dog? And you walking out of there scot clean, man. But we're just talking about what should happen.
I
We ain't
think it's
saying what's going
all
to happen.
predicated. I'll say it again. It's all predicated on whether he could come up with that money and give that organization back that money. And they may fine him. They may hit him with a fine. I don't know. But because
DC.
I'm not an expert on the court system, but I do know law enforcement, they go a little bit lighter on ex-law enforcement officers or retired law enforcement officers than they do just regular Joes out on the streets.
DC. DC, you're talking about a billionaire, Mickey Harrison and his club. These are billionaires. That's chunk change to them. The only thing they did is shame the guy, and that's it. Because they could very well let him walk out and say, "Man, get out of here. We fired you. We don't need you around." And they won't even ask for the money back. I guarantee you, they want the jerseys back more than they want that money back,
Well,
man.
Yeah, they want.
that's
They
Yeah, they
don't
true.
want
care
the
That could
about
product
be
it.
more than
possible.
anything.
And if those jerseys
They
is changed hands, if he auctioned or if he sold off those jerseys to, let's just say, a collector, and that collector lives in another country, and then those jerseys change hands and they move to another country or they move someplace else where they're not reachable or recoverable, that could be a problem. I mean, it could be a
I,
problem, a potential
I
issue.
think the authenticity of this jersey is going to be questionable now because if it doesn't circulate it like this here, somebody might come in here and say, "Oh, here's the jersey right here," and give you a fake one and say,
Oh,
"I'll
it's
give you the
easy to
jersey
fake
back
it,
if you
right?
give me my money back." Yeah, man.
Yeah,
There's so many things can happen when it comes to that. I mean,
that's true.
I got the jersey right here. Just give me my money back. And he paid $25,000 for it. He wanted 25 grand, but he gonna punk you on some old knockoff jersey. Come on, man. It's
He signed
just
himself. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I got one more topic that Annie Brown she's pressing me on it, and we got to get this one out of the way. Jake Paul, professional boxing, or should I say boxing, because I don't know if Jake Paul is certified professionally yet. I'm assuming that he could be, but he's fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Does that make sense for an exhibition fight? Kind of the same type of exhibition fight that he had several years ago against other, celebrities, fighters. I think Mike Tyson's bout against him was an exhibition fight. I would have loved to seen him go up against Anthony Joshua, because to me that will legitimize his dream of being a championship boxer at the professional level, where he's certified by these boxing commissions, like the WBC, the WBA, the WBO, those type of commissions. Once you get certified and you get a belt from one of them, you can legitimately say, look, I box and I'm a champion boxer, or I box to become champion. But the exhibitions, to me, and it looks like Netflix, from what I could read, is possibly going to carry it. Do you think it's worth spending money to watch him fight a fighter that's probably 60 pounds lighter than him? Jake Paul is more than likely going to knock out Tank Davis. Now, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to lay it out there right now. That's probably what's going to happen, since he's such, his size doesn't even measure up. Would you say that?
At
No.
At all, man. They giving up 6-7 inches on Jake Paul's 30. No, he's 60 pounds heavier than him, and then the wingspan is like is like 8-9 inches. Like, bro, like he's fighting a giant compared to. I mean, he's fighting a little boy. To be honest,
Yeah.
you got somebody that's 200 pounds, and then you got somebody that's like 135. You know how small 135 is for a grown man?
Tiny.
Puny.
Tiny.
You give it up 60 something pounds, DC. Let me show you how awkward that is and how it just shouldn't even go down. All you have to do is get in close and wrap your arms around the guy every round and just lay your weight on him. It's going to wear him out.
Yeah, he's going to wear him out.
Dude, I watched when Mike Tyson was fighting, and I thought he was the ultimate puncher. Most of those big guys, when they were really extremely tall, because he fought a lot of guys that was much taller than him. He was like 5'11", and 5'10", 5'11", and then you got a guy that's 6'6", 6'4". They would bring Tyson in and just like lean on him, just lay their weight on him. And he used to have to like hit him in the ribs and uppercut those guys to get him off of him, because they were just trying to wear him out.
Correct.
And this is the same thing, but the difference is these other guys don't have that type of firepower where you're going to uppercut a guy and take him out like Tyson would do. Tyson comes through the fight.
Tyson would decapitate guys, literally.
Yes.
With that uppercut that he had, he would decapitate him. You'd see their heads spring back like we used to have those little boxes when we were children. You box, it was a game, and you box and you punch one and the head just spring up. That's how Tyson used to hit people.
I mean, don't get Tank Davis wrong. Now he does knock out just about everybody he fights. I don't think he ever fought.
I'm not taking any credit from Tank Davis at all.
Big of a size difference between the two.
60-pound difference in height and everything else. It's just so unbalanced, so it shouldn't even happen. It's just a total mismatch, man. It's going to be stealing money from the general public to watch that fight, man.
So what do you think the principle?
But the crazy thing is, I mentioned this last year when he finished fighting Tyson. I said, bro, I would love for him to fight Tank Davis. But then when I realized the size difference, I said, oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not going to ever happen. The size difference is too crazy.
Yeah.
You think Tank's skill set can make up for all of that size difference and give him a chance to stay in this fight?
Well, if he has a strategy, if he has some type of dynamic strategy, and he worked that strategy to his advantage, it can. But all you have to do is lock a guy up like that and lean on him, man. It's going to take his strength away from him. You just imagine where all your strength lies, in your backs and your hips and your thighs when you're boxing. And if you got a guy laying on you every round and putting his weight on you, and you can't stop him from doing it, all you have to do is move in him with a couple punches and grab you and lay on you. That's it. If he know how to jab and keep the guy away, in which that's going to be bad because the guy has already got a longer reach. It's crazy.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Man, so here's the numbers where this is very concerning to me. So here's the numbers. Davis is 5 feet 5.5. We're 5'6". Let's just say 5'6". I'm 5'6". My height is 5'6". he last fought at 135 pounds versus Paul being 6'1", 200 pounds, and probably 200 plus pounds. He looked a lot heavier, and maybe the TV is making him look heavier than he really is. But to me, Davis, do you think it was the money that was offered to Davis was the deciding factor?
It's always the money.
Freaking midget out there, man. The guy's fighting a midget. He shouldn't even want to fight this guy, man. How many rounds going, DC?
Jake Paul always want to. Have you realized Jake Paul always want to fight somebody that he feels that is favorable?
That could be, because I haven't seen him fight any legitimate. That Anthony Joshua fight would have been ideal. Want to fight him. That Anthony Joshua fight would have been ideal for me, because if he would have went in there and even beat Anthony Joshua in a draw or anything like that, going the distance with him, and he beat him on points, I'd still give Jake Paul the benefit of the doubt to say Jake Paul is a legitimate fighter, at that level. But I guess those talks broke down contractually because more likely it was a money difference in who was going to get paid what. That usually decides it all the time. But to see an undersized fighter at 5'6", last fought at 135 pounds, go in a ring with a 6'1", 200, and I'm going to say 200 plus pound fighter. It got him at 200 here. But to me, that's just kind of such a mismatch that I just find it hard. Listen, I would not pay Netflix to see that fight. And I don't have anything against Jake Paul.
Normally,
I don't have anything against Jake Paul at all.
I got a subscription with Netflix, and I'm not going to even turn it on to watch that crap. That's not going to be entertaining to me. I will watch a BIG3 game before I watch that. I'm going to watch Ice Cube. I'll watch an Ice Cube basketball game before I watch that crap. I'll find something else to do. I'll go to my piano and write a song before I mess around with watching some mismatch like that. Because it's just a thing where they think the public are suckers, man. To put on a fight like that. How competitive that's supposed to be where you got if you got two heavyweight fighters, okay, because you got a legitimate heavyweight, which is the 200-pound plus, and the guy could be 260 or 270, but he's a bona fide heavyweight. But then here's you got a freaking flyweight fighting a heavyweight. That don't even sound right. That's just like Sugar Ray Leonard fighting Mike Tyson, man.
Right.
Or Ridge Bowe or something like that.
Right.
Come on. So I was thinking more of Tyson fighting Mayweather, but yeah, same thing.
I would love to even entertain the matchup of Deontay Wilder against Jake Paul. Does that seem like a decent matchup to you? Because Deontay Wilder is a real fighter.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
I would pick my piano and close it down for a night and watch that one.
Right.
That's what I'll do. I won't even play piano that night. I'll watch that fight.
Now, Deontay Wilder stands at 6'7". He's a heavyweight. He's a true bona fide heavyweight. He's gotten knocked out, by Tyson Fury and all of that. I was pretty embarrassed for the belt to end up having to go back over the pond to England. Yeah. But Deontay Wilder is a legitimate fighter. I think he's a good fighter too. I'm not gonna say he's championship status right now, but I think he's a damn good fighter.
Losing to his Fury.
I don't know why his name hadn't surfaced. Right.
Well,
because it's not favorable for Jake Paul, just like I told you.
Right. Well, he's going to have to keep fighting, and maybe one day we will get, blessed enough or fortunate enough to see him fight a legitimate fighter, because Joshua would have been perfect. Anthony Joshua. So let's pretty much close this thing out. I need to get some predictions from you guys. Andy Brown is really happy with you guys from the content that we had today and the chatter that we had. Who's going to win this Chicago Triplets versus Miami 305 in the Big Three on Sunday?
305.
Nah, I can't go against Beasley. That's the one time you're going to hear me go for a Miami team right now.
Man, listen,
Beasley is
Beasley
cleaning
is
up everything, bro.
bro. Beasley is a beast, DC. Man,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
telling you right
yeah,
now, he is on fire, man. This dude is playing above and beyond, and I just love his passion for this game, and he's just out of control, man. You can stop him on defense or offense, and he just got these guys fired up. I mean, he looked
Yep.
better now than he did when he was playing in the NBA. I'm just
that's
Because
true.
loving it,
he
man.
can because he's not playing structured basketball and he can actually do what he wants.
He's doing everything he wants. It's just like you playing on the basketball court out there in the street. He's doing all of that, man. I mean, it is just. I mean, to see him with that motivational thing for the other players and how he got those guys psyched up to play, man. I can't wait for Sunday to see him play. Can't wait to
Absolutely.
get there.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go with Miami 305 as well
Of
because
course,
I like
you
their
got me too.
chances because of the talent level that they have on that team. The Triplets has got some good players. Montrezl Harrell is the most notable one that I'm aware of. That it's on that squad, and then you have
Hmm.
Dr. J, who's the coach of
Yeah.
Chicago.
Hmm.
And then you look at the Miami squad and you look at their players, which Beasley is the star player, in my opinion. And they got
Lance
Michael
Stevenson.
Cooper as their coach,
Yeah.
as the head coach for that team.
Yeah.
Mario Chalmers is another one. Now, Mario Chalmers and Michael
Yeah, yeah.
Beasley together is deadly,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then they
Man.
got my man Lance Stevenson, who blew air in LeBron's ear. He gonna come in and get his minutes.
Yeah.
You think he gonna blow in one of them triplets ears like that?
If he
They
comes
gonna actually
out,
swing on him. They gonna actually swing on him.
if Chalmers pass him a blunt,
He
he
knew
might do
LeBron
it.
wasn't gonna do nothing. He knew LeBron wasn't gonna
Hey,
do nothing. But now these fools will swing on him.
Oh, no doubt about
yeah,
it.
he might do it if Chalmers pass him a blunt.
Oh, Chalmers.
Yeah.
All
Oh my
right.
God.
All right. Man, I'm so emotionally charged by what we've had today, conversation wise. And from the bottom of my heart, we're so happy to have the family that joined us today. We did have a few people that comment. They were talking about Najee's jersey or shirt, should I say? So we were able to go on and clarify that that's more so Biggie Smalls than more so
Yeah.
idolizing P Diddy. So it's Biggie on the back. There you go. So next time we have to do a 360 like that where our fam can see that and they'll know that it's a Biggie Smalls things. It doesn't have anything to do with Bad Boys Records or Bad Boy himself, P Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, right? So we're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. I want to close out with Isaiah first. Isaiah looks like a CEO to me and just sitting in a chair, just casual. You would never know he's a CEO, but he's a CEO. So
Of course
close
I
us
am.
out, Wood.
Yeah. Hey man, what a beautiful show. Loving the family members who are joining us. It's a family affair, baby. Every time you see us on, it's a family affair. If you see me in the street, just say what's up, do fist bump. Listen, tell your friends, your family, your co-workers that we're on these Stewart Show featuring Isaiah and Najee. You guys have a blessed week. Watch out for this hurricane. The storm is dangerous. We've been saying that. You guys take care of yourself, man, because we got to keep living healthy and watching out for each other. That's how this thing works. Okay. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.
Absolutely. So how about you, Najee?
Oh yeah, peace and blessing, love God because He's gonna love you. Yeah, yeah. Let's get ready for football season. I'm excited for the big three this weekend, and then anybody that's in the path of this storm, take it serious. Trust me, I'm in Florida. We get hurricanes every year, so we
True.
already know the damage
And
that it
they're
will do.
getting worse. The storms are getting
Yeah.
stronger and more aggressive. Because
Mm-hmm.
warm weather actually feeds it. I mean, it gets its
Yeah.
power off of warm water. So when it's a warm water environment where the water is warm enough for that for that storm to gain steam, it gets stronger and
Mm-hmm.
stronger and stronger. So,
Especially when it stays on the water. And I don't think this storm has hit any type of land
No,
since it started.
no,
and
It
you know
hit
what
no
else
it,
country.
too?
So
I've
it's
noticed.
straight pressure. Straight pressure.
Absolutely. I've noticed over the last 20 years that a lot of these storms, they're just showing up and parking over countries. Like, for example, the Bahamas. That particular
Yeah.
storm
And when it
a
stood
while
there for like a
back,
day and a
it just
half,
parked
I've never
there. It
seen a
didn't
storm
leave.
stop.
Yeah. It just
yeah,
stopped in its tracks and it did so much damage. So the Caribbean, which is a bunch of, connection chain islands and stuff from different countries, Dominican
Mm-hmm.
Republic, Jamaica, you name it, Cuba, and then you look at Haiti and countries like that. Those storms, they're not in a hurry to get through there and leave. They come through and
yeah,
they hover. So
yeah.
please take all the necessary precautions and make sure you, as well as your family and other people that you care about, are protected. Always prepare in advance of a storm like that. Whatever you need to do to make sure that you can survive the fallout from a storm, because you can't rely on officials from government anymore because they don't show up fast enough sometimes. So you have to take care of yourself, be able to survive for 30 days at least, if you have the resources to do that. So we'll call this thing a day. It is Thursday. We're so happy that you joined us. And fam, we'll be back. And we're going to be covering this BIG3 Championship and the outcome of that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button, because we here. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Peace, love, and prosperity.